I love printing. I love printing. I love it. I love printing.
Hey, everybody. Want to welcome you back to another session of Printer to Printer with me, Warren Werbitt, also known as the Print Whisperer. Start to go check out the Print Whisperer website, theprintwhisperer.com. Highly recommend it. Anyways, back to today's show. So today we are fortunate. Again, I use the word fortunate because I am every day fortunate when I get to talk to people. We have Maralyn Dolan of Integrated Printing Graphic. Did I get that correct?
With an S, graphics.
Graphics. So Maralyn, thank you so much for letting me leave off the S and correcting me. Why don't you give us a minute or so of you and your company and what you do, what you did, what you do, what you love, all that stuff. Go ahead, your time.
All right. Right now I'm in Boston, and this is where I started my life in the printing industry. I worked for a financial institution, and my boss went back to the family business, which was printing and direct mail. And he asked me to join him a few years later. I was with that company for a very long time. Part of the time, a good portion of the time, was in New York. I moved from Boston to New York, selling direct mail, very successfully, but it wasn't enough for me. I always went to that the higher end work. So at one point, I left the company with a great relationship, except that I had a non-compete. So I went to a printer to rep, that very, very high end printer, cosmetics and fashion and the, fun, difficult but fun stuff. And then in '99, I said, I don't want to work for a company anymore. And I started Integrated Printing and Graphics. So the reason I named it this boring name is, say, why are you doing this? And I was integrating my direct mail experience along with the very high-end collateral. And so that's why the name is still IPG, Integrated Printing and Graphics. And over the course of the 21 years, we have made a name for ourselves. We have a niche of luxury, and that's how the clients that we have come to me for help. We are a consultant. We're a print consultant. So you're the print whisperer. I'm the paper whisperer. This is when we first spoke. I said, oh, no, I'm the paper whisperer. So I have relationships with all the paper companies. They know my clients love paper. So when anything new comes out, they send it to me. I then send it to my clients. I mean, one of my clients, a big nonprofit, said from one of the books that Sappy did, she said, I want page 57. So we quoted on McCoy, and we quoted on their spot gloss UV that these wonderful paper companies do to make our lives easier. Yeah. In '99, I was renting space. My company, we were renting space from a company that did large environmental graphics. And we started doing that. I sold the company to the company that was doing the large environmental graphics. It's been a wonderful addition to that high-end work that we do.
Oh, good for you. Good for you. So I have one question first. 1999, you say that you went off on your own and started your own business, Integrated Graphics with the S. Wow, 1999, woman doing business in the print world, tough times for a woman. Our industry is not the nicest back then.
I would absolutely disagree. I think I did so well is because there were women buyers and things had changed. And as somebody said to me, you are a breath of fresh air. The old school men, I mean, sending, whether it's men or women, I think people wanted to see a woman. I think I like
right. No, but what I'm saying is kudos to you at that time. And I'm glad that it worked out and people were thrilled, but that's a big move in 1999 to go off on your own as a woman in an old industry. I mean, I even say today in 2021, we still got a bunch of old in this industry who we need to change over because we need to move as quick as all the other industries. So I think that's a pretty cool thing. I do love the fact.
I also went to my clients and I said, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And one of my clients, if I may name drop, is was no longer, they moved away, Louis Vuitton. And the buyer said, of course we'd go with you. It's you we love. So it's relationships.
It was way more relationships back then. Today, I believe it's relationships, but a little less, because the relationship is more about the mighty dollar for a lot of companies today. But I like the idea. I mean, even when I was selling, I like the idea of luxury brands or higher end brands. They have the margin in the product, not that they give away or buy,
Right.
just giving us the money. They're tight as always, but the way they think, what they want, they know that if you get something nice, it has to cost something, because something high, you can't buy low, sell high. You got to buy high, sell higher. So I think that's great. It's really, wow.
I think it's so important for salespeople, no matter what your industry is, to be a resource. And I expect that you are as well, Warren. You know, we are resources for, yeah, I mean, we are resources for our clients. I saw a video that you had done about sending, about printers now selling premiums. And I certainly thought about that. Business had gone down, and I did it for about a week. So I signed up, I paid the fee and all that. And then one of my clients, dear client, she said, can you get me magnets to put on the refrigerator for a wedding? And I said, okay, that's it. I'm not doing that. So I think that when I decided.
My question to the customer would have been, how many magnets? Oh, no, not enough for me. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But you know, I was doing, it was a favor. She said,
right.
Oh, wait, can you do me a favor? So, and I said, yes. And I think I spent about a month doing it. And anyway, so I decided no premiums. So, you know, I focus on print, and I love print.
Oh, I love it. I'm looking around now because everything in my room is printed, but like I go to the grocery store or any store and I can't get out because like I'm in the aisles picking up every piece looking. And I'm even saying to myself at times like, oh my God, how did they accept this? If my client got that, they would refuse it. How did they get into the store? Right.
So many of my clients are not-for-profits and nonprofits. And one of the things that so many people don't realize is nonprofits fully believe in print, that they get close to 80, I don't know if this is true, still true. I heard this about a year and a half ago. 80% of their funding from direct mail. And it's not like it's only direct mail, but it's all the different parts of marketing that goes to funding. We have a big focus in nonprofits, and nonprofits that love paper. What paper are we doing now? What's the paper this year? And we work hand in glove to create, what's the treatment that we put on it? And with the new digital treatments that you can use, it's breathtaking how to make an average little piece into something very special.
Yeah, the only thing I think when you're doing nonprofits is with all the technology that we have available is you have to watch that it doesn't look too fancy, because then they think you're spending all the money on that stuff.
Right.
Little do they know most companies. Yeah, little do they know most not-for-profits find a way to work it out with sponsors and whatnot. So it's pretty good. But yeah,
I agree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah.
I think today, excuse me, today what we see, I mean, direct mail is definitely on the rise, has been. Through the pandemic, it's really one of the better ways to reach people, because nobody knows where anybody is or who's going to be where at any time.
Yeah.
Right. It's you send a direct mail piece, and you could send an email at the same time, and you could send a text, and you're covering and making your whole campaign. So it's pretty good.
I was on a Zoom call, printing, marketing Zoom call. And I said what I did, and this woman on the call said, oh, the best part of my day is going to my mailbox, and I put that in a newsletter. That
I was going to say, I'm going to quote you later because I think that's a great one when the best part of your day is going to the mailbox.
It's pretty sad though.
No, we like what we like. Can't help it, right?
Right.
Paper and printed stuff is our emotion,
Mhm.
right? You see things, we get goosebumps, we get excited. I'm sure somebody sees a nicely printed ad for Louis Vuitton and they're going to line up right away, pick up a little handbag.
Yeah, well, and I know because we talked before about SAPI, they did this amazing book on the haptic touch. And when you get something in the mail, I mean, I guess got a little new address mail yesterday when I went to my mailbox, and I said, oh, this is great. It was so thrilling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send her a note on my fabulous note card paper because I'm a printer. It better be good.
Oh my God. First of all, note cards are great. People love them. My email used to say, print this email, paper's a renewable resource. Nothing made me crazier than people in our industry that only talk about the environment, that don't print that, don't print that. I'm the guy who still signs up on CERB to get, or not on CDAR to get every annual report that's still printed. Why? Because maybe some printer's going to get another repeat on the annual reports.
Absolutely.
I used to steal the envelopes at the Instabank machine. I don't make envelopes, but I figured the envelope guy's going to get an order. And I would sign up for every newsletter that I came across on an email that was printed and mail it to me because I want to promote print and mailing. Right.
So do you know about Two Sides? Do you know the organization Two Sides?
They're in Canada next to me.
Yeah, well, I'm a member of that organization, and it's about how paper is not the problem. Actually, I did a newsletter on this too. Close to, more in Canada, but close to 70% of paper is recycled in the United States. And plastics, 8%. So every time that you buy a new phone or TV or anything, 8% of plastics are recycled in 80% in Canada and 70% in the United States. I mean, people don't know that. When I tell people that, they're flabbergasted.
Listen, I like the environmentalist who goes and buys water bottles every day in the store, right? It doesn't make sense. So I have a question. So from the industry, from when you started in 1999 to right now, what are some of the changes you've seen? You've seen it like from the good old days of high margins where you've seen get maybe a little tighter or customers, or how was it for you? Did you experience what a lot of people experienced?
Some of my major clients, major banks, I did very well with some of the New York banks. They went to, one company doing everything. And there was nothing. I was the first company to be put on the list of this buying company. And I said, God, this is amazing. I'm the first company. This is going to be fabulous. I never got another job because I wasn't big enough. Because then it's not kickbacks, whatever they get. If they're doing $1 million, then they want 2% back or whatever that is.
You know what? I'm going to say this. It is a form of kickback because anytime someone takes a rebate or negotiates a volume with money coming back, it's a kickback.
It's a kickback.
Right? I always used to say, go out there, you get prices, get the best price. Three bids every time is still your best way of keeping everybody honest. Because every RFPs, once you do them and you get in and there's only 2 printers or whatever the suppliers, it's your right with whoever else to do what you want. And nothing that you ever quote in an RFP is what they order.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah. This is when I would get estimates. I never. If I know that it's a blanket estimate that's going out to everyone, what really bothers me. I had a conversation about this the other day. Because we are the paper whisperer, and this is Graphic Design USA magazine listed Integrated Printing and Graphics as the designer-friendly printer. So we have credentials. Yeah. So when I was brought into an agency, this is in the guy says to me, the production guy, he said, "Oh, can you come in? I want to get my designers really excited." And I said, sure, because I had been, this has happened to me a few times. Will I get the job? And he said, "Oh, I don't know about that." And because I had, like, he developed the product with and I said, "Well, I won't do that, but I will come in as a consultant." And I never heard from him again, but which is a good thing, because it was a
Yeah,
way.
well, no, because he would have wasted more of your time and taken more of your thoughts. I mean, there's nothing worse in our business, even with those RFPs, and I'll just say it because we've done them, but on the RFPs, there's always something, a sentence at the end that says anything submitted, any ideas, anything done becomes our property, right? I want to cross them out. Because any business, RFP or not, if you're thinking of it, it should be your thought, your idea. Nobody owns it. Or pay me top dollar, right?
Right.
But that's a whole other.
When I save companies money, I saved a nonprofit in New York, a wonderful nonprofit, $12,000 because they were using the wrong paper. I said, I don't know if you should be using this paper. If that were, I got the job, but if that were the case, and I said to the buyer for this RFP, why don't you go with this paper? It'll save you beaucoup money. And then they do the RFP with my input. Yeah, that's just not fair. Yeah.
Oh, that's the dirty part about our business. When people take your thoughts and then use them, or people would say to me, "Can I'm in a rush." And I said, "Okay, if I get you the quote first, do I get the order?" And then you get them the quote, and it's like, well, a day later, they're still waiting for the other person, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because they waited to get your price to give them the specs because they're different than what they suggest.
Right, because you're doing this, right. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
But I don't find that with my clients. I have clients in an investment firm that we still, actually, we didn't do the annual report. We are now doing it because the director of marketing that has been a client / friend since 1998.
Wow.
I'm so old.
We all.
Yeah. So I met with them. This is before COVID. And she said, "What would you do differently with this?" And I said, I changed the paper and I'd redo there's an illustration, a sort of illustration, not so good. And she said, "That's why we brought you in." Because this is because one of my testimonials, the client says, "Maralyn cares more about the job than I do." Close to more the job.
I think that the lovers of print in our industry, would love that story, because we want more and more people that value how we think, what we think, because we know, right? I sometimes used to think that our business was the only business where people would call us as professionals, and then we would come in and then they would tell us what to do. If I would ever tell my lawyer what to do, he'd throw me out the window, right? But we somehow, anyways, I don't really get it. I know at the end of the day, I just happen to really love this business. I love looking around. I love knowing that every person I meet is potentially a client. That's how I got into it. Right? The elevator would close and you turn around and you have a sales audience. Half think you're an idiot. You half think that you got the guts to talk to everyone in the building. But when everyone needs print, everyone needs print. So it's a wonderful
the good old
thing.
days when I started out that I could go door to door. That was
the good old days of the cold calling and the door to door and taking someone to lunch. Like I'm hoping we can get back to seeing people and maybe take somebody to lunch.
Yeah,
Everybody's
right.
a little
I have been going to a bunch of networking things. Everybody's vaccinated. Yeah, it's fairly good. It's beautiful.
Well, you don't know if you shake someone's hand, give them a hug, or kiss them on their cheek. Hello.
Yeah, right.
Now I bump into people. I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I know we don't know what to do, but or some of us still doing that. And,
So just before we go, because great conversation. So you've sold the company and you're still involved. Like, I guess, do you see yourself not being involved in print?
I can't imagine. I don't, you have fishing, it's a hobby. This is my hobby. So I have clients that have been clients for a very long time and think I can't imagine not doing this because I just love it. It's me. That's what I do. I don't see any reason to stop. I said I'm going to be the Ruth Bader Ginsburg
Ruth
of
Bader
print.
Ginsburg, RBG.
Yeah, IPG,
Cool,
yeah.
cool. Anyways, wow. So honestly, there's nothing I love more than talking to anybody who really loves print. I think it's great that you were able to sell out. I wish I was able to sell out instead of lose out, but so what, I'll do it the next time. But just the smile, the loving, and thinking that you're going to always be attached to print, it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, and I'm still learning. There's so many new things happening in print that people don't, that I can let people know about. Like, really, you can do
Hey,
that?
I met you through Paper Specs. Sabine, if you're listening, I keep the boxes. It's going to be wallpaper soon. I spent 3 hours the other day on Paper Specs for the most part. I had to zone out a little, but oh my God, I love seeing the new paper. I've got new Sappy paper samples. I love all paper, but I'm going to just say it again. Sappy, if you're listening, you by far the best company out there putting out all your books. There was the Warren Standard. You should have kept that name. Now you call it something else. But really just Sappy, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. I think you guys are
I love them
great.
all. I love Nina paper. I use a lot of uncoated paper.
Mohawk's not far from you.
And Mohawk, I love uncoated. It depends on the client, depends on the job.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get some paper people onto this and talk to them and question them about their paper. So before we sign off, any last couple words you want to get in there? It's your free time.
I think we covered a lot. My tagline, I love yours. My tagline came from a client, which is printing that goes beyond the press. So when I started my company back in 1999 and we were working on this, and she said, I had hired a copywriter, and she said, well, what's different about Maralyn? And she said, because she does so much more than just print. So that's so
It's
yeah.
great when people can keep talking about what we do and how much they like it. Anyways, I want to thank you. Yeah, I want to thank you. Great chat. To all my viewers, I think we're growing every week. I get a few more people watching, so keep watching. Couple notes, check out printwhisper.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Warren Werbitt. Please subscribe. I'm still trying to get to 1,000, but it's taking a little bit of time, so please do it. To everybody else out there, just wow, stay safe. And Warren Werbitt, for what they think, I love print.